So I'm going to give this the best I can. I'm dealing with a chest infection at the moment and a fucked throat, so I'm going to give this the best I can. The topic is about cheating. Geez, I know what that's like. To all my exes watching that cheated on me, fuck you. It's kind of funny that while I'm making this video, it's actually very interesting that the one that cheated on me and went off with someone that was close to the family, as in a family member, she's currently getting cheated on herself. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if she's cheating on her current partner too. It's kind of funny that two people that have cheated on each other, like cheated on people all their lives, get into a relationship and you think for 1 second either of them are going to be faithful to each other. Now, I'm not going to lie, in my past when I was younger, I did cheat. And I'll tell you why. So, we all have needs, right? We all have needs in relationships. We want to be treated a certain way. We want our partners to make an effort with us. You know, the reason why we... I'm just going to pause. Just give me a sec. So, when I cheated, I'll tell you a few incidences. So, when I was in a relationship, when I first started off in one relationship in particular, I didn't think it would last, right? And when I got into a relationship, I was nervous because I didn't know if I was going to be good at sex or hooking up or anything like that. And I wanted to be good for the person I was dating. And because I didn't think it would last long, I was like, I had this person that was kissing me and having sex in the middle of the Oval with it pouring rain. I know, right? How romantic. But the more I started to continue my actual relationship, she said to me, look, you've got to stop. It's not right doing that on the girl. Do you love her? And I'm like, it's a bit too early for that, but I can see myself with her. And the girl's like, we'll have to stop this so you can be with her. And I did. It was early stages, but because I wanted to be really good. And it's kind of funny that the person that I was dating at the time was very shy. So when it came to hooking up and sex and all that, it was like we're both virgins, even though we're not. It was like kind of like that. But I said to her, you know, when it comes to oral sex, what's your opinion on that? She goes, I've never had it. And I was like, so teaching someone that never had that, I was like, oh god, this is... I'm like, but you had a boyfriend before me. And she's like, because it was me, then her boyfriend, then me. But apparently she never did that with him. So I was like, okay. Well, that backdoor stuff, never did backdoor. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Now, the thing about relationships is we all want to find someone that completes us in every way. You know, unfortunately, looks do come into it sometimes. Like, if you don't find the person that you're attracted to, you're more likely to cheat on them. You're more likely to not be satisfied sexually or in a mental capability. Because even a decent conversation, like in a relationship, is very hard. Because maybe you two are different. Maybe you two don't see things like, for example, someone I dated, you know, she was into Supernatural and I never, like, I was into those sort of shows, don't get me wrong, but it never clicked to me, that show. I might go back one day and watch it, but she really loved that show, but I never really watched it. I don't even remember, like, one episode, to be fair. And some of her music, like, I'm into like a lot of music, but in particular, she liked AC/DC. And don't get me wrong, some of their songs are good, but I'm just not, like, I'll have it on my playlist, but I'm not very, like, the thing that, and this is not disrespecting anyone that likes AC/DC, at their age, when they're on stage topless, it's not good. They're in school uniform, it does not look good. Like, I know that's their gimmick and stuff, but when you see old men topless on stage singing, that's coming beyond a joke. Like, that's losing credibility for yourself. And when they keep doing it every year, AC/DC, when they do these reunion things and I see like stuff like that, I'm like, they need to retire. It's different if you like they're singing in normal clothes and they're just doing it their thing. I understand that, but them being topless, it does not look good. Anyway, Cheating, unfortunately, you can be the nicest guy or nicest girl and still get cheated on. And it fucking sucks. I'll tell you some examples. So, this year alone, I've been cheated on 3 times by 3 different girls. You may say, that's fucking brutal. It's brutal when one of them doesn't even live here. She lives in another state. And I'll tell you the 3 stories in particular. So the one in the other state, right? She knows that the day I broke up with someone to be with her, she knew that, I was a softie. She knew that I was vulnerable. Alright? And that's why, I guess, within 30 minutes of talking to her, she ended up being my girlfriend after I broke up with someone that also cheated on me. This is why, in some ways, I don't like dating single mothers, to the fact that, their exes are always going to be around in the picture and all that. But for this one, I wasn't worried because I was like, well, one of her exes is still in jail, the father of the kids, and she's got a restraining order on him because he's an abusive whatever. And then the other guy that was in the picture was in another state. So I was like, oh, this is easy. It shouldn't worry me. But then she started flirting with the other guy in the other state. And, I offered many times to fly to the other state and be with her. And, she kept making up excuses. But the guy from another state, oh yeah, a woman basher that can't hold a relationship, that's abusive to women and kids, yeah, happy to invite him over. And he was also, she ended up cheating on me with him. And then when we got back together, ended up cheating on me again with the other guy. And then she cheated on him. She's a cheater. Plain line sinker. And I said to her, you'd rather be with a guy that, number 1, gets drunk and pisses all over your floor. Number 2, has got bad anger problems that hits you and your kids. And you'd rather be with someone like that. And then when she did be with him, she ended up cheating on him with the father of her kids that has a restraining order and that's just got out of jail. That's fucking disgusting. You're a multiple cheater. And the fact that she has become a very nasty person. She's lost her job because of these guys. She nearly lost her kids because of this guy. She doesn't care about her own kids. If she's socializing with these two. Because I told her, as long as she's associating with these two, that both, one that's, it's gone to jail because of her, and the other one that's going to go to jail because of her, or maybe it's sorted out because she feels sorry for them both. Like, literally, she said to me one day, get into my Facebook so I don't talk to these 2 blokes. Alright, change the password, change all the details. And guess what? Because I could see the messages coming through on her Facebook, she's on the phone call to the one that's just gotten out of jail, saying she loves him and that, and then, like, literally, when she gets off the phone to him, messaging the other guy saying she loves him too. Bitch, you need help. That's cheating on multiple levels. The one before that, well, she liked the home detention boy. She liked the fact that she liked to be the center of attention. She liked the fact she's a manipulative liar. Me and my parents were actually discussing this about that person, how she lies about everything. And even they laughed, going, she's an absolute nutcase. She'll never find happiness. Talking about beautiful people. Oh, I've got to pause this because I got a message. I'll be right with you. Anyways. My dick stinks. No. The girl that I first dated this year, I was going through a patch where I just wanted to hook up. I didn't give a fuck who it was. I just wanted to hook up. And I've hooked up with 7 different girls this year. It's too many. It's way too many. This one here, I wasn't attracted to, and wasn't in love with, or had feelings for, because I just like, it's never gonna work. I want someone that, doesn't, do drugs, doesn't get wasted every couple of days, and someone that's kind and sweet. Preferably, they work and drive, because that's what I do. I just bought a new house recently, like about now a month. The house is unlivable. Renovator's delight, they say. Fuck, it's a lot of work. But I know when it's all said and done, when it's all rentable, it's going to be a really good investment. But when I'm in a relationship, the one thing that I've always said to myself is, have your guard up. Because I don't think anyone's perfect. Cheating, though, happens when one partner isn't getting what they want. So, example, you could be a person that's very sexually active and your partner doesn't give it to you. If your partner can't even give you sex at least once or twice a week, then she's probably going off to see someone else. You're probably not doing it for her. Maybe she likes a bigger dick. Maybe she likes 2 dicks at once. Who knows? But, you know, I'd rather be cheated on early in a relationship than later on when I'm settling down and getting the feelings. The one thing that I've said to all the women I've dated, if I don't do it for you, just dump me. Get rid of me. Oh no, you're fine, all that. But then they put all the emotional bullshit on me. Then they cheat on me behind my back. Go off with family members. Now let me tell you something about that, because I think that person could be watching. I'm going to say this. That person's always going to be family. Alright? You both do the wrong every day to each other, probably. I definitely know he's unfaithful. He's never had a faithful relationship in his life. But he's family. Now to hear what happened to him, I'm not going to lie. I did see it coming with his health. But you've got to understand that that's not a guy that is marriage material. And I don't think you're a sort of girl that wants to settle down either. Now, since it's been 2 years since then, you know, I've despised relationships. I've become a better person. And I do think that one day our paths will cross because you're part of the family. Well, quote, part of the family, not really. But I guess somewhere down the track, me and you've got to make peace. I don't have a problem with him. I've told his brother that I don't have a problem with him. Like I said, when I heard about the news today, I was like, interesting. Saw that coming. Look, end of the day, I don't have grudges for any of my exes. Even the ones that fucking cheated on me this year. 3 of them, by the way. Or 2 that I was actually in a relationship with, but the third one was just... I got to tell you about the third one. Here's a good one. So I was dating this single mother, alright? We were just kissing. It wasn't anything serious. I bought her and her kids some Easter bunnies, like teddies, alright? I looked after her when she was sick. I tried to do the right thing by her. Then I get a message one day saying, look, I have to tell you and the other bloke that I'm seeing another bloke. You're telling me and another guy that you're seeing another guy. This is coming from someone that didn't want a relationship. That other motherfucker didn't even buy her anything for Easter. Didn't even look after her when she was sick. And that's the sort of treatment I get. That was fucked. You know, like, don't get me wrong. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't in a relationship with her because, truth be told, I wasn't just hooking up with her. Down the road, 5 minutes away, I was hooking up with another woman. And the first ex that cheated on me, I was hooking up with her too. So I was kissing 3 different girls in a span of a night. You may think, you go girl. Respect. It wasn't easy. But I'm single, I can do what I want. But in a relationship, if I find the right person, I'm faithful. In these days, back then, like when I was younger, like, the only times that I think I was unfaithful was... Geez, that's hard because I really wasn't unfaithful to most of my... Yeah, that's a very good thing. I may have only cheated once or twice my whole life, to be fair. Yeah. Not recent. Like, so the last 2 years, all the people I've dated, including the one that ended up with him, I was faithful to her. I don't think she knew that, but I was actually faithful to her. I know she wasn't faithful to me, but yeah, I was faithful to her. I mean, You may say, but don't you have female friends you talk to? Yeah, I have female friends that I talk to that also have partners. I'm allowed to talk to them. But this person didn't want me talking to any females because she got jealous. Even though the females had boyfriends and some of them just had no interest in me, she got jealous. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Males are allowed to have female friends. Females are allowed to have male friends. And if you're like, say, and this is what pissed off one of them, right? So, I have a female friend that lives in America, right? Very sweet girl. Like, she's a simple person, right? She's not all there. And, she gets bullied a lot. She gets tormented. And I always say to her as a friend, look, I love you, sweetie. I hope you're okay. Always here for you. As a friend, that ain't cheating. Alright? That ain't fucking cheating. Because, number one, it's another country. Number two, we've been talking for years. And number three, it brightens her day when I say that she's beautiful and that, because she gets cyberbullied. Because she's not like most girls that are skinny and blonde and attractive. She's average size. And I was watching her TikTok one time because she does TikTok lives, and the amount of bullying and harassment she gets, like, it makes me feel sick. And for a while, for about a year on my Facebook, I was like, I tell you what I'll do, because you're my friend, I care about you. Would you like to put me in a relationship with you on Facebook so, that way you don't get harassed and bullied? And we stayed for a year like that. Because we cared about each other. She sent photos, she sent videos, like, it was really good. And you can't, like I said to her, like, if she lived here, like, we'd be great friends, And I have a lot of friends like that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. So if you got into a relationship with me, I will just tell you, right now I'm talking to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different people. Different ladies, alright? But they're friends. And that's all it'll be. The thing I hate about cheaters is, I'm going to tell you something. Now, as men and women, we shouldn't be too picky when it comes to people choosing us, yeah? But if you're, this is killing my throat, not doing it in the bedroom, right? So say, for example, maybe you're a guy that is a little bit kinky, yeah? A little bit kinky, like a bit of roughness. But your missus is like, no, just normal plain sex. It's boring to the guy. Sometimes it's so boring that we have to fake it to pretend that we're enjoying it. The woman I had sex with this year, that was one of the cases where I faked it. That was the first one of the year. Because I wasn't attracted to her in a physical matter or an intellectual matter. I tried to put some spice into it, but it got real fucking weird. Even for me, like, I was like, I'm not enjoying this. And I know that I'm getting cheated on, and I know that when we break up, because I was planning to break up with her for a while, that she's going to rubbish me, bag me, make up shit, and exactly that's what happened. And unfortunately, she does that with all her boyfriends, and it's disgusting behavior. If you get cheated on, it's not the end of the world. That person cheated on you, they're not worth knowing. Because if you go back to them, they will cheat again. It's a vicious cycle where they're always going to cheat. Like my ex and my family member that she's in a relationship with. All their lives they've been cheaters. Even before she met me, she cheated on her like long-term relationship with me and some other guy. And he cheated on all these women. In fact, he cheated on all the women that he dated and beat them up. And went to jail. But she still decided to cheat on me with him and be with him. Now there's some fucked up people in this world, and it surprises me. When a guy finds a beautiful intellectual woman that's really kind and faithful, but then he fucks up and goes cheats on her with someone that's disgusting. Or when a male finds someone beautiful. I don't understand it. When you've got someone beautiful that will give you the world and be there for you when you're sick, like I had with my fiance of 6 years, why would you fuck that up? Look, I fucked up there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, the first few weeks when we started dating, like I said earlier on in the vid, I didn't think it would last. Because I didn't think I could be the man that she wanted me to be. Like I said, it was only for a week I was hooking up with another girl. And because I didn't think that, number one, this person would be with me. Because the first time we dated, it didn't work and I didn't think that this time it'd work either. It lasted 6 years, but I didn't actually think that, it would work, but it did. I think the problem with that relationship is we could have had a really good relationship and got married and had kids, but the family put too much pressure on me, insulted me multiple times. The sister that lived with her, oh my god, that was terrible. The fact that sister was flirting with me behind her own sister's back, that's fucked up. I've already told the stories about that one. We don't need to go into it again. As some of my female friends said, like, were you ever attracted to the sister? And I was like, no. Don't get me wrong, like, I've seen, she's a very attractive girl, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat it. She's a very attractive girl, but I was in love with one person. And that person was my everything until I fucked up. Like I said, as much as, like, my fiance knew that I was talking to girls and I had female friends, but she was cool about it. She knew that I wasn't doing it wrong. There's a lot of things that she doesn't know that I won't discuss on here, but hopefully one day I'll get to tell her, because there's a lot of stuff that she needs to know that's happened since then, and my parents still think the world of her. Even if she was like a friend, like, it'd mean a lot to my parents to see her again, that's for sure. I know that. But the whole cheating thing is like, I just don't understand it. If you don't want to be with a person, instead of cheating, just say, look, we can still be friends, just, it's not going to work. Look, and if the guy or girl says, well, what can we do then you say, if it's the girl, and say, all right, well, if you don't want me to go, you've got to do this, you've got to be this sort of person. Maybe the man is just not pulling the weight in the bedroom. Maybe the man is just a bum. Maybe he's not so affectionate. Affection goes a long way, and a compliment. Or maybe the guy's like to the girl, hey, you're not doing it for me in the bedroom, Maybe one time you can take it in the bum or something. I don't know. Like, it's just, sometimes you've got to, in a relationship, compromise. Maybe your partner wants to go to a movie, even though you don't want to see that movie, and maybe it could be boring to you. Just do it. You do that for them, and then later on down the track, maybe you want to go see a movie they don't want to see. So you make it fair. Though, like, there was some times where there was some movies where I'm like, I'm sure my missus didn't want to go to the movies, but she still did. And then there was some that I didn't want to really go with her, but I still did. Like, I remember we went to a Delta Goodrem concert. Don't get me wrong, I like Delta Goodrem. Good looking bird, good music and shit. But I didn't really want to go. Like, I went, so it was her two younger sisters, and her other sister, right? And I felt a little, and what's funny? I don't even remember shit apart from that. Like, I don't even remember, like, a lot of stuff from my relationships, because my brain's sadly not working at the moment. I have a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. Like I said, the new house that I just bought, squatters used to live in it. That's all I'm going to say. You can imagine how bad it is. And the one thing that I said to myself is, if you love someone, you try to make it work. You don't give up. You don't insult them about their kissing, their sex or anything like that, or their looks. Like, not just cheating physically with other people. You can mentally cheat on someone. You can also, just by flirting is a sign of cheating too. So I'll give you an example. So you could be like walking in public together, right? And guys do it more than girls, but they get the guy like goes, like, you know, looking at another girl. Don't fucking do that when your missus is right there, you fucking idiot. It's so obvious sometimes. If you're gonna do that shit, fucking wear glasses, for fuck's sakes. But the girls, though, they take a little bit too far. They sometimes stop the guy. You know, they're walking with their partner and stop the guy and give them a compliment. That's fucked up. That, chatting to another guy like that randomly in public, that's cheating. You're obviously interested in another guy if you're like stopping them and talking to them and complimenting them while your partner's right there. Don't fucking do that. You know, I've seen both men and women do that. I remember one of my exes, fucking 7, 8, 9, years and years ago. Really bad one. I remember I was in town one night, and this is when I had to break up with her. I think it was like New Year's Eve or some shit, and she was being a bitch the whole fucking night. And she saw her ex-boyfriend from the distance. She ran up and jumped into his arms and cuddled him. I'm like, fuck that. And as soon as I saw that, I walked off. And she's like, where are you going? I'm like, you can have each other. Long story short, they didn't actually have each other. And she blew up my phone for the rest of the night, and I just ignored it. And then years later, when I said, how many times did you cheat on me? And she goes, I'm sorry, I cheated on you a lot. I'm like, thank you. I got that. And I said, before I go, I want to ask you something. Because, yeah, she goes, did I ever do wrong by you? I said to her. And she goes, no, you're actually a gentleman. And I've had her blocked since. Because I knew that, you know, I did the best in that relationship. But this person could not close her legs. Like, she was one girl that was so loose. Like, I remember one time when we had sex, it just slid in like butter. It was no, you know, foreplay, no fucking lubricant or anything. It just slid right in. And it was so loose. I one day made a comment and went, that's really loose, hun. And she's like, yeah, I shove a lot of things in it. I'm like, and then me being a dumbass was like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, sometimes I get my toys and I DP there, I put 2 things in one hole. And I'm like, no wonder why it was fucking loose. I'm like, what's the biggest thing you've put in there? And she's like, I managed to fit a whole orange in there once. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, no wonder. And she's like, if it was guys, I could probably fit about 3 at least in there. I'm like, oh my God. I might have to I'm going to tell these stories on Freaky Friday, man. Like, some of those things, like, and like sometimes, like, and I said this, I think, in Freaky Fridays or one of my videos. This person was so fucking loose that sex wasn't even enjoyable with her. Like, she never got on top or anything, or side, or doggy, whatever. She just laid on her back and just puts her legs in the air. That was her thing. That all she did was just lay on her back, put her legs in the air. Yeah, that's pretty fucked. And I said to her, like, why do you cheat? And she goes, well, number one guy can't satisfy me, neither can 2. And I have a very high sex drive, and, you know, you're not always there for me, and I need it consistently. And I was like, okay, well, fair enough. Whatever floats your boat. But the fact that the cheating part didn't bother me as such, when I think about it, it was the fact that she was a bad druggie. And the fact that she was stealing off people, lying, starting fights with randoms. I don't want to be with someone like that. I mean, I've had some breakups where I've had to break up with someone due to the fact that they're just nasty. Not the fact that I know they're cheating on me, but the fact that they're nasty and they're violent and they're liars. I can't be with someone that's nasty and a liar. Once someone's abusive and shit, fuck that. I did fuck that, sadly. Now, someone will say to me, what about cheating on yourself? I will admit that I do that every day. You may say, how do you explain that? I know that I can do better in life, and I can hook up with better people. Like I said, the 7 that I've hooked up with this year, I would say maybe 1 out of the 7 is relationship material, in a way. But that one also, I know it wouldn't work, because I'm not like, even though that we kissed, don't think that would ever do anything on those lines sexually, because I'm not sexually attracted to her. But yeah, like there's sometimes where the women I've dated this year, I've said to myself, I'm cheating on myself when I know I can do better than that. These women, like I'm up at the top of the pinnacle here, right? Top of the mountain, right? These women are not even like base 1. You know what I mean? They're not people I want to bring home to my parents. They're not people that I can have a relationship and maybe start a family with. The only person that's ever been up to that pinnacle is my ex of 6 years. I would have loved to have kids with her. I would love to have gotten married to her. But the problem with her, and she one day will see these vids, why she lets her family treat her the way that they do, she's never going to grow up. Because since we've broken up, she hasn't changed as a person for the good. She hasn't done anything in a positive manner. And I say that because eventually you've got to make your own decisions. And if you've got parents that are making those decisions for you, you're not really growing up. Look, I understand. I sometimes think they've got something over her. I always had this feeling like that there's something not right there. Because even in the early days of dating that person, it was like they still controlled her. Because they had this friend of hers that literally any time that she would do something, the parents would be like to the friend, what's she doing, where she is, what time. That's over controlling. And they wanted her to be with him. And they hated the fact that I got rid of him in the picture. Because while she was hanging around him, she was like a puppet on a string. They could control her, see what she's doing, every move. So it got to a point where I was just like, no, fuck this. The woman deserves to be a woman, not be treated like a child. And I always thought that they never gave her the respect that she deserves. To them, they was like, they never saw the real good of her. This person may not be 100% all there, but to me, I didn't see any problems with her. I think she looked beautiful. I think that she had a beautiful heart and passion. She loves kids. She loves animals. And I thought that they never let her be a woman. And I still think to this day they don't let her be a woman. A woman becomes a woman when she can do everything on her own. And I don't think she'll ever be able to do anything on her own. The partner she chose after me was a kind of interesting one too, because I looked at him and went, what the hell do you see in that? The guy is not attractive at all. He's very unhealthy. I don't even think he's got a job. He doesn't fit the criteria of someone that I want her to be with. I want her to be with a guy that is successful, has a job, has money, his own house, a decent car. You know, someone that's not, and I say the term loosely, a fat bastard that doesn't want to improve his own life or his own looks. And to me, that's disgusting. Once you let yourself go in a relationship, don't be surprised if your partner says, well, that person over there looks better. That person over there, I should be with. Now, my partner once said to me, you know, Andre, I know I'm not your type. I'm a bigger girl. I don't look like all these other girls you talk to. And I said, yeah, that's right, honey. But I love you for you. I find you more beautiful than them. Because she's a bigger girl and she knew from my past that I only like skinny girls and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, she said to me, you know, why you stay with me? And I'm like, because I love you. And I really did. Still do. But you've got to understand that me physically, the reason why I've only been attracted to skinnier girls, right, is because of what's happened in my past with bigger girls and what they've done to me. Don't want to discuss it on here. There's a video somewhere on YouTube about that. And I think that the first time when me and her did date, she was a bit skinnier. And I liked that. But I always thought, you know, after we broke up, I always thought, what if kind of thing. And then somehow 4 or 5 years later, we found each other again. And I thought, well, that's meant to be. Until, 6 years later, I fucked it up. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I keep thinking, the way it ended was disgusting. It shouldn't have ended that way. But she needs to understand that the amount of pressure that those parents were putting on me and the family, like, there's only so much you can take. And I thought to myself, well, why am I the one that cops it here? It's like you can poke a bear and poke a bear. What's he going to do eventually? And that's what kept happening. I'm deeply sorry for what I did. But I'm not going to live my life blaming myself for something that, you know, I'm different now than what I was back then. I took her advice. I went and got help. And I've done that for multiple years. I got my shit together. Like I said, bought a house, sold it, bought a new house. This new house is a lot of work. But even she'd be able to be like, he has grown up. And I feel like I'm the better version of... And who's messaging me? Give me a sec. But it is what it is. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I didn't think it would go this long, especially when I've had to pause it a couple of times because of my throat. Like I said, I'm dealing with a chest infection right now for the last month. It fucking hurts. And considering the house that I'm working on, my new house that I bought, it's got asbestos, it's got fucking sewage leak somewhere. The sheds and the carport is fucking just unbreathable. And I'm breathing all that shit in. Think about a house that hasn't ever been washed in 2 years. So the walls, floor, rooms have been just full of junkyards for 2 years, every room. And you're working in that house. Yeah. I've cleaned up most of it. The inside, once we've demolished the kitchen, then the new kitchen will go in. And then we'll have to paint it myself. I'm going to paint 2 rooms out of the... Also, I'm thinking carpet, maybe, but the floors look nice. Maybe if I polish and varnish it, it might look a bit better. The outside, literally, I hosed down the outside today, like the front of the house. The amount of mud that came off, you would not believe, like, it was disgusting. And that's what smells, all the dirt and mud. So, like, the walls that were inside, literally, when I hosed them down, inside, oh, it was so bad. Up today, it's all really looking great. The rooms, nothing's in them now. The back, you couldn't even walk out the back. Now that's all clean. Still gonna have to do a lot of work with the skip bins and stuff. Might have to get a couple of them. But yeah, once the house is good, I'll rent it out, and I'll be getting more rent for this house than the one I previously sold. So, but anyways, there'll be some videos coming soon. A dance one when I'm feeling a little bit better. I actually tried to do a Spice Girls song the other day on Facebook. My friend loved it. Shout out to you, babe. She's like, and that was very hard to do on a fucked voice because I've got this like frog in the back of my throat. If I start singing, the song starts getting like the throat. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can do it. No, I'm not going to do it because it sounds fucking awful. Like, it first starts off good, but if I hit a certain note, then it's like, oh, like, yeah, really bad. Fuck. It's fucking hurting. So every time I cough like that, My chest fucking hurts. My fucking head starts spinning. What is the time anyway? It's fucking hell. It's about midnight. Fucking hell. So long story short, yeah, I got work tomorrow. Shout outs to Big Red and Fluffy, my boys. How you doing? Big C, you know who you are. I don't think C watches the vids, but Big C, you know who you are. Always the highlight of my day, going to work and seeing them. What's my plans for the rest of the week? Well, Tuesday's always work. Wednesday, probably work on my house. Got to find someone. Now that I've bought a new kitchen, I've got to find someone that's going to bring that to mine. Painter. There's got to be a skip bin. Value carpet, because I'm going to put like carpet in 3 of the bedrooms. Maybe, depending on how much it costs. Financial reasons right now, a little bit tight with my money. But not all bad. I've actually done really well in poker lately. Not money-wise. I've currently got my... So we're 3 games into the new season. Last season at this venue, I come second. I made 9 final tables out of 13. With no cash. Ouch. Well, I actually did get cash, but it doesn't register on the thing because it was a chop. This season, first 3 games in, 3 final tables. Ranked second at the venue. Behind the guy that is just... So last season, he's the one that came first at this venue. He won 3 last season. The season before that, he came first and he won 3. And that's the guy I'm trying to knock off the perch. So, it should be interesting. Anyway, check the 4 corners of your screen. And yeah, some great fun videos coming soon.